Hi all, today we are playing Self-Advocacy Vocab+Plus, and we are going to work on social emotional development. There's 4 different categories, but this is the one I picked for you guys today. You get to pick if you want side A or side B to work on. A, good. So we're going to put the game board down here. This column is the actions. It's the fun things you get to do. You get to erase somebody's or add somebody's, that kind of stuff. Oh, and across the top is the vocabulary words that we're going to be working on. So the way we play the game is we get to put in our initials or erase our initials depending on what happens, and whoever has the most initials at the end of our therapy time wins. And how we do that, we're going to decide first. First, everybody has to get a marker. And to set up the game, this is an important part because it makes it a little bit more fun. We're each going to roll the dice to determine how many times we get to put our initial on at the beginning of the game. So I got a 12. So I will add my initials on there 12 times. I can add it in any empty square. And while I'm doing that, Landon, you can see how many times you get to add your initials. And Marin, you got a 4, so you get to add yours 4 times. Good. Good, Landon. What did you get? 12.
Were you cheating? No, it fell on the ground and I picked it up right where it was.
Good. So once you get the board set up, then we can, and everybody's got their initials started, we can start playing the game.
You guys are just staring at me.
So the board's all set up and ready to go. Good. I will go first so you can see how to play the first time. And then we'll do a round, and then we'll go from there. All right. So first I'm going to take the 2 dice, and I'm going to roll them. And I got a 10 and a 3, which means I need to look at number 3 and number 10 on the action side. And I need to decide which fun action I want to do. Do I want to race one player on the left? Or do I want to add 2 for myself and roll again? Ooh, I think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to put the 10 here, and then I'm going to put the 3 up in the vocab that matches. And I got the word social competence. That's a big word. What does social competence mean? Now I'm going to take the vocab die, and I'm going to roll it and say who, and I came up with who. So who needs to have social competence? Competence means that you are acting your age socially and you know how to handle yourself in conversations. You know how to receptively have a conversation and expressively back and forth. So who needs to have that?
Us, teachers.
Everybody, right? Is that just something that we have to have with hearing, when we have a hearing loss?
No.
No, we have to know how to handle ourselves in social situations. And sometimes when you have a hearing loss, that gets tricky because it might be too loud, too many people talking at one time, right? Sometimes somebody has a high voice, somebody has a low voice, all depend. And the environment might be too, so you have to use lots of strategies to figure that out. Good? So 10 and 3. So what I get to do first now, since it was my turn, is I get to see where 10 and 3 intersect, and I get to add my initials again. And now I get to do, the second thing I get to do is add 2 for myself, and I get to roll again. So my turn keeps going because I got roll again. So I'm going to pick up the 2 dice, roll again, and I got an 8 and 10. So I'm going to choose add 1 player, add 1 for the player on the left this time. And then I'm going to put the matching number 10 up there for the vocabulary word. And the vocabulary word is advocate. What does it mean to advocate, Landon?
Like tell something you need.
Right. Tell people what you need. Does just hard of hearing people or deaf people need to tell people what they need, or is this a skill everybody has?
A skill everybody has.
Right. But when you have a hearing loss, you need to do it more, correct? And you have to do it since you were a little kid all the way. Just continually telling people what you need in every different situation. So I get to do 8, where 8 and 10 line up. I get to add my initials. And I get to do the action. I get to add one for the player on the left. Let's see your marker. All right, I'm going to put you way over here. Good. Now it's your turn. Now it's the next person's turn. We go in it clockwise to Landon. You got a 12 and a 1. So first thing you're going to do is figure out the actions.
Erase all. For number 12, it's erase all for any one player. And the 1 is erase 1 for any girl. And then my...
So what are you going to choose?
Wow, that's going to be hard. I'm going to choose 12 because I can erase all of one player. And you probably already know who I'm going to erase. And then 1, all of, are you deaf or
hard of hearing?
Hard of hearing. How are you deaf or hard of hearing?
How do you know if you're deaf?
You just can't hear out of your ears better than everybody else.
Right, you can't hear anything. Right. How do you know if you're hard of hearing?
It's harder to hear certain sounds, or it's just quiet all of a sudden.
Correct. So are you deaf or hard of hearing?
I'm hard of hearing.
Good. Are you deaf or hard of hearing? Hard of hearing. Good. All right. So Landon, you get to put your initials in
12 and 1.
Where they intersect. Correct.
And then I get to erase all one players. Sorry, Maren.
That scared me for a second.
Since Miss Loman's winning, I'm going to erase all first. So I had a chance at winning, which most likely will happen.
Good. So now his turn is finished. It goes to the next person, and you're going to roll your 2 dice.
I got an 8 and a 6.
Read your actions and figure out which action you want to do.
So for number 6, it says add 1 for player on the right. Or for number 8, it says add 1 for player on the left. I'm going to do number 6.
I'm on your left, by the way.
Oh.
Thank you.
No, I had to switch it. Okay, so for number 6, it says timid, passive versus assertive. And then for this guy, where?
Now, timid, passive, and assertive. Those are 3 words that explain how you can be. What does timid mean? Quite. You're more shy. You're a little more afraid to talk in the classroom or tell people what you need.
So you're not.
So timid, passive means that you're letting other people do it for you. And aggressive means assertive. Assertive means you are taking charge, doing it yourself, not expecting other people to do it for you. So give me an example when you're more timid about talking to people about your hearing loss.
I'm not really timid about talking to other people about my hearing loss. So I just say I have a hearing loss, and
good.
And I can hear as well.
When do you need to be the most assertive about your hearing loss?
Well,
give me an example. When do you feel like you really had to stand up for yourself and tell people what you need?
Well, sometimes the FM is off and I can't turn it off with my hearing aids or turn it on with my hearing aids. Then I have to just raise my hand and tell the teacher to please turn on the FM.
Good. All right. So where 8 and 6 intersect, you get to add your initials. Good. And then what action do you get to do?
Add 1 for any player on the left.
Yay, I get 1. Good. So you can typically play the game for as long as your therapy time is. And when therapy time's up, we count up initials and see who has the most initials.
Oh, I wonder who.
I won.
So Landon has the most initials, so he wins the game. And you can also get the checklists that are on the website that help you track the students' progress. And also you can find the game on hearing101.net. Thanks, Landon. Thanks, Maren. You did a great job.